On the GameFace Division 1 Footy Show live at Mt Eliza. Mt Eliza rises against the odds with a huge win last weekend. GameFace were at the annual Frankston Bombers business lunch. We talk about that. Mt Eliza coach Troy Shannon and their president Mick Dunn are among our special guests. We talk to Lee Paholke from Sorrento and get the news from the top of the ladder Sharks, as Lee's also facing the tribunal. Our Mt Eliza captain Shane Tennant and Cole Doherty will also join us in a big Division 1 Footy Show with one round remaining. Great to have Tony Blackford and also Chris Holcomb with us. Gentlemen, we're here at Mt Eliza. We've got the players training behind us. They're pumped up for the last round of the season. Looks like they'll finish top three, and they've risen against the odds this year because Sportsbet had them 8th at the start of the year. Did you have the mates, Chris?
Yeah, I had a mate.
You did have the mate?
Yeah.
You're going to get out of here alive?
Right. No, I thought they've done a magnificent job. I reckon what they've done with their kids and with their top-ups that have come back through Moncrief and Freeman and those guys, they've done a magnificent job. Troy, I'll talk about him a bit later, but they've done a great job.
Kids are wonderful, Dan, because kids just see the ball and go get the ball, and they've got no prize. You know, I think it's wonderful, and I think that Troy's really invested in those kids, and they've come a long way.
They've always had good kids, had good
wonderful
depth. This year's been the year that they've been able to get out and earn their stripes, and she's haven't let them down, not let them down.
So they made the right decision for their big clean out.
Well, I think some of those guys, I don't know if they were forced to leave or they there was a chance for them to go away. Those guys didn't perform in the big games last year and the years before, Dan. They let themselves down in the big games, and it's all right to kick goals against lesser opposition, but you need to kick goals in the big games when it's counted most.
The pressure will be on them because their record in finals recently is not great. They've bowed out in straight sets the last couple of years, so obviously they've got an opportunity again this year.
They're a slightly different side than
different
they were
side,
the last
different makeup, isn't it?
They relied on a couple of those key guys who did let them down, and their depth probably wasn't quite there. Now they've got games into their kids, they're a lot more of an even spread, and the guys that they've got on the park at the moment, Moncrief's having a great year. Tennant down back, he's just a general. They've just got a little
McGowan,
nice
who come down from Fish Creek, has been rock solid for him in defence as well.
Yeah, they were. They've been really impressive. Everyone's been waiting for him to fall off, and the kids sort of get a bit tired. But they've stuck to
their under 19 kids have been good, haven't they?
They've always been good, mate.
Yeah,
and they've got those kids at Stingrays and the Dolphins, Dan. The one thing last week, and we talked about that, we thought their run and spread would be too much for Edith Vale out here, didn't we, Holmes?
Yeah. I still thought Edith Vale would take him, but the Mt Eliza proved me wrong. They had a great game.
Yeah.
They were pretty poor, Edith Vale, bar the second quarter. Again, they were scoreless in the first quarter. Their starts have been terrible. We'll talk more about that later, but they were good in the second quarter. But from then on, Mt Eliza completely outplayed them.
But as much as we pump them up, what you got, and it's what I love about Division 1 this year, Mt Eliza have been fantastic all year. They lose on Saturday and results go the other way. They're playing YC in an elimination final and finish fourth.
They can finish fourth or they can finish top.
That's how good the comp is at the moment. So this round at the moment, the way it's set up, is unbelievable there.
Now, Mick Dunn, the president, we'll chat to him a little bit later. He's always got plenty to say, which is wonderful for the competition.
Well, you and him
in a very, very good way, of course.
Bit to say to each other, Dan.
He put his own cash in with his business, and look, he's done a lot for the football club, so needs to be applauded. And
one thing that I'd like to talk to Mick about, about where's the rooms, and because with these facilities here, it would be great for this club to have some state-of-the-art rooms.
That's probably the only thing they're missing. Out there's fine.
All those grounds and all the facilities, and you look at the top oval up there. They've got wonderful lights in.
Well, I think they've had to compete against the soccer club in a previous interview I've had with Mick a few weeks ago, and they're playing Sorrento
over there as well.
Yeah.
So you got the cricket club over there, the footy club over here. Like they maybe need to join them up and put some money together.
Yeah.
We'll have a talk about that later.
I think the soccer club got a grant. And
that was for all the ovals.
I've got a feeling that didn't go down all that well, but we'll talk. As I say, we'll get his views on that a little bit later. It'll be wonderful to have a chat to Mick. And the other thing we need to mention too is not only are the seniors flying, but the reserves and the under-19s are always flying. Yeah. They're in the top three, and they're going to be heavily involved in the finals and getting a double chance as well. Now, we mentioned that GameFace were at the annual Frankston Bombers business lunch. There's some
I think our boss was down there
was there. Glenn Carter was there having a nice quiet day as he always does, our boss. And Dane Swan, the former Collingwood superstar, the Brownlow medalist.
Give him a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, Dane Swan! Before we get going, you feel free to take me photos you want, but no videos, so I've had enough of them to last me a lifetime. So,
okay, let's go to the draft then. 2003. No, 2001. As a 17-year-old, pick 58.
Yeah, I was
Collingwood.
Yeah, it was
Must have known something.
It's a bit stiff to drop down to 58 after my Olsen Pack Cup year. Yeah, man, I played. I was in the Super Draft with Judd, Ball and Hodge, but yeah, man, I played 3 good games in that year, the year I got drafted, and I never wanted to play AFL. I just fell into it a little bit. You know, I got dropped halfway through the year of the Cannons for having a poor attitude and not getting a kick. And I reached about 12, 13 touches a game during the regular season, played predominantly as a forward. I kicked the goal and we finished second on the ladder that year. And then on the eve of the finals, Mick Moldhouse came down to speak to us because Robert Hyde was the coach of the Cannons and he wanted to be at Collingwood, so that's where that connection started. And I barracked for Hawthorn as a kid, so, and if you don't barrack for Collingwood, you hate them.
Yep.
And that's how we like it, so I hated Collingwood like everyone else did, and Mick was the coach, so I hated him too.
So he was there as well. So
He goes to a lot of
absolutely
lunches, Glenn,
fantastic.
doesn't he?
He does. He does.
He
go to a
does.
lot of lunches.
Yeah, well, that's his job. His job is to press the flesh and get to know people and tell everyone about the GameFace Footy Show and about the GameFace product. And he's a nice, quiet, retiring type, Glenn. So he does his job.
Hey, one good thing too, mate. I talked to Glenn about my T-shirt and how I just don't think he invested in me long term, Dan. He's given me the shirt.
It's already starting to.
I know. That's why I didn't think that he invested in us long term. But anyway, but Hulks and we're going to get some jackets.
I've got to get my jacket dry cleaned. I might ask Glenn if you look after that.
Yeah,
get a new one.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I might need a new one. Yeah, it's been through the ringer a bit. Now, the Frankston Bombers Football Netball Club with MK Trucking have combined to help bring some relief in the form of hay to the drought-stricken areas of central New South Wales, the Burke region in particular. It's called Hey, Let's Look After Them fundraiser. So far, $9,890 has been raised.
Gee, that's wonderful.
33 hay bales have been donated. Absolutely fantastic. And they plan to deliver it on the 31st of August if we can raise an extra $3,000. Now,
How do we help them out, Dan?
well, all financial donations, thank you, Chris, that was magnificent. Great hand pass into space, can be made to our GoFundMe account link below, www.gofundme, all one word, all lowercase, .com/hey-let's-look-after-m. I hope you've got all that. So
Hey,
there's
Dan.
a big opportunity to, and of course it's up there on the screen for you, big opportunity
Dan,
to raise extra money for our farmers who urgently need it in what's been a very dry patch.
The wonderful
for them,
thing about the
unfortunately.
Frankston Bombers is that they're always helping the lesser people out. You know, I know that in the times that they've had people with cancer, they're always doing fundraisers, and that's your little mate stick fat with the bat, you know.
Well, it's been tough on the field for them. Their form has been dreadful, hasn't it? Have you spoken to him?
I talk to him 2 or 3 times a week, Dan. So,
Is he disappointed?
of course he is, yeah. And look, the last 4 weeks, you know, Hulks, we thought they were flying, and that game, when we went down to Pines 4 weeks ago, it was a real 50-50 game, and that was for them to get into top 3.
Yeah.
Now they're
missing.
They're going to miss the finals.
That's what the comp's like. You got to be on, or you're out.
And they haven't been on for a month.
No.
Yeah.
Now let's take a break, and thanks to the Frankston RSL, we're looking forward to this. He's in his last year as coach of Mt Eliza. He's done a wonderful job. Former coach of a premiership team at Edithvale Aspendale. He spent some time at the Melbourne Football Club playing reserves, and as we've said, Troy Shannon's last year here because he's got a job in WA. He'll join us shortly, and Mick Dunn as well, the president of the Mt Eliza Football Club. Thanks to the Frankston RSL. That's next on the Division 1 GameFace Footy Show, live at the Mt Eliza Footy Club, and we thank them for having us.
Frankston RSL, Frankston's function and restaurant specialist.
In the First Division goal-kicking table with 1 round remaining in the seniors, Aaron Edwards of Pines leads on 52 after kicking 4 goals on the weekend, 7 ahead of Trent Dennis Lane of Bond Beach. He booted 2 in the team's shock defeat at the hands of Seaford. Geordie Moncrief of Mt Eliza, their team had an excellent win over Edithvale Aspendale, and he was a major contributor with 3. He's kicked 43 for the season, and he's been joined on 43 by Leaper Holke of Sorrento with 6. Jackson Calder of Mornington kicked 3 to go to 38. In the reserves, Michael Chaplin should win the goal kicking here from YCW. He kicked 2, he's on 39. Tom Loney of Seaford, 1 to go to 26. Reece Chalkley of Pines, none, he's on 20. And Jake O'Neill of Edithvale Aspendale, also none, remains on 18. In the under-19, Sam Hart of Edithvale Aspendale, with 1 round remaining, has a 5-goal lead, booted 1 to move to 36. Kobe Villas of the Bombers remains on 31 after none on the weekend. Josh O'Toole of YCW joins him on 31 after a big bag of 7. Sam Sturt of Mt Eliza has been playing senior football, so has been on 25 for quite a few weeks. Ryan Francis of Edithvale Aspendale kicked 2 to go to 22. And Tom Wisniewski of Mornington 1 to move to 21. On the GameFace Footy Show, Division 1, looking at round 18 and what happened in round 17. We're live at the Mt Eliza Football Club. Great pleasure to be here, and we've got 2 of the heavy hitters of this football club in their president, Mick Dunn, and also their coach, who's in his last year as coach, unfortunately for the club. He's heading to Western Australia for work in Troy Shannon, who has been heavily involved in this competition for a long time, coaching Edithvale Aspendale to their last premiership in this league a few years ago. Welcome, gentlemen. Good to have you with us. Now, Mick, I want to talk firstly about this wonderful table that I love. Now, I believe your boys made this table. Is that right?
Yeah, you've mentioned it a couple of times tonight, Dan. Yep, Matt and Skinny Dunn put it together a couple of years ago. We needed a extra table in the place. Well done, boys.
It's a great table. I love it.
Yep.
If I had room in my car, my little Hyundai i30, I might make an offer for it, Mick. There's no way I'd get it in there, mate. Sorry.
I might just plug a mate of mine, Chris Bull from Chelsea Demolition, who provided all the
in Latham Road.
Yeah, all the recycled timber. So thanks very much, Chelsea Demolition, for your timber.
Hey, Dunny, while you're on the club rooms and obviously their tables and all that sort of stuff, what's going on with the club here? Have they got any help from the council or anything to do some new rooms?
I've seen it. Oh, mind you, I don't think they're bad rooms.
No, they're clean and all that, but the change rooms,
rooms?
Yeah.
No,
they've been like, I think Lance Mogford built these rooms back in the 50s or the 60s.
Correct. So I'll put it in perspective. We've had a difficult trot over the years trying to get council to come around and support us with new club rooms. Toby Garbers and myself have been working for the last 18 months with state, federal and local governments. What I can say, and it's a bit of a scoop for you blokes, is that just recently we've come to an agreement with the Junior Football Club, the Cricket Club, and ourselves to
put money together,
all jump under the same roof.
Yes,
great.
We'll be putting, we'll be seeking about an $8 million fund from those 3 areas of government. And within the next couple of years, we should have some decent digs for you.
Because the grounds are looking fantastic. Women's football now.
Yep.
We've got netball. We've got soccer here as well. Yep. So this should be like a small Casey Fields, really, shouldn't it?
Correct. Yeah. And that's the road we've been going down. We believe that the Emma Madsen Reserve is a premier reserve in the district. We've got capabilities of playing all footy finals, junior and senior footy down here. We've got women's footy coming on board.
Yeah.
So it'll have all that, Blackies. We'll have women's change rooms. We'll have junior change rooms. We're going to have a 250-seat function centre up the top.
Wow.
And more importantly, we're going to take it out to the community. It's going to be a community facility.
So they can lease it. And
weddings, receptions, that sort of thing?
All that sort of stuff.
Right.
Bar mitzvahs, anything you want to. We'll have all that stuff down here.
Would you have a lot of bar mitzvah functions around here?
We're looking at bringing some of those types into the area for a bit more funding. So
very good, Mick.
We'll see how we go.
That'll help, won't it?
Yeah.
Now, Mick, explain the relationship between you and Chris Sharm and Batty. You seem to have a pretty good relationship at the Frankston Bombers.
You mean that little black man, that little black fat man from Frankston Bombers?
Yeah, correct.
I'm sure.
Was he the blackface? Was he the blackface bloke? Was he? Was it the issue with Batty? He said something about some bloke with a black face.
Oh, I have absolutely no idea. Let's just look at what happened. Let's just look at what happened last Friday, because you guys have spent a lot of time together, and then we'll discuss it.
Okay, the horses are moving around the barrier for the Bombers Cup. What a great field we got this year. There's Batty wants to. Mick Dunn moves in. Mick Dunn says get Batty, moves into his barrier. Away my balls Woody moves up with Marty's.
Okay.
Who came up with the name Batty Loves Mick Dunn? Now, I know there are other horses. This is a family show. We cannot mention those horses. But we'll just mention Batty Loves Mick Dunn. Why?
Was it Dave Whalen?
Dave Whalen. I wasn't at the function, Dan, so I can't tell you to come up with the name. But obviously that horse was named after my relationship with Batty. Look, he's a super bloke. Batty and myself have been mates for 20 odd years. Family friends. We go back. Bully, myself and Batty are mates. He does a great job over at the Bombers. We do what we do over here, and when we cross each other's paths, we have a bit of fun together.
And you're also very tight when it comes to the way you like the league, don't you? You like the league to stay as is for the moment, wouldn't you, Mick?
Yeah, we have got some similar views on where the league's at. Similar views where the league's at.
You believe it's going all right at the moment in its current form?
I think
you don't want Cranbourne in. Let's cut to the chase, do you?
No, Dan. I've mentioned this before. Not that I don't want Cranbourne in. I think we need to just settle. We've had quite a bit of change.
You don't want Cranbourne in at the moment, do you?
No, let me just finish, Dan.
Okay.
What I said to you is, and I'll stand by this, is I think whether it be Cranbourne or anyone else that comes in, I think we need to look at our competition and let it settle for a while. This is our first year as divisional football. I think we'd all agree that it's been as competitive and as good as we all thought it was going to be or hoped it'd be. So why not let things settle for a little bit? There's no need to rush a third division, and I certainly don't think bringing one team into a 22-team, two-division competition is going to improve the competition at all.
So do you feel, though, for Cranbourne, who at this stage, the new competition, which is going to be called Outer East, is my understanding, it's Yarra Rangers at the moment, that they're going ahead without Cranbourne? I was told by Jerry Kelly at a recent match we broadcast on GameFace between Cranbourne and Narre Warren that they were going ahead without Cranbourne, and the fact that Cranbourne haven't been given an answer as to yes or no to be in the Mornington Peninsula Football League, they might be out completely. Are you concerned for them that they mightn't have a league?
Oh, of course I'm concerned, Dan, but the reality is that we've also got 22 sides to be concerned about in the Mornington Peninsula at the moment, and that's more of a concern to me. I don't think because of clubs floating around at the moment looking for a home that the NPNFL should be concerned about Cranbourne. What we should be concerned about is the bigger picture. What that bigger picture is, we don't know. And when AFL South East come up with a strategic plan about what they're wanting to do with our competition,
they haven't put structures in place, have they?
They haven't put structures in place.
Have you asked them to put structures in place?
We've asked them several times to put structures in place, and I think once they do that and the clubs can see what that plan, what that structure is going to be and the benefits of that, because let's face it, we've got a pretty good competition at the moment. We don't want to make mistakes and have it fall apart on us.
We'll come back to you in a second, Mick, but Troy, let's talk some footy. How happy are you with the way the team's travelling?
Yeah, good. Yeah, we to be in a position, not only the senior side, but the whole club at present, with our reserves, the development league are sitting on top, we're under 19s on top. And with a bit of luck, and we get a win on the weekend, we might finish there, or at least in the top 3 or 4, which is.
And Troy, over the last few years, your 19s and reserves have either won or come runners up in the premierships. Your seniors have been knocked out in straight sets, so it's an important year for the club, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's Blackers. To be fair, it's something that we looked at the start of the year, and as much as. Development and under 19s winning flags and reserves winning flags are great for the footy club. It's probably not what the senior club needed.
It's based on the senior performance.
It is, and that's what you perform all your results from that. So it's ironic that we literally put in something that no one else has done, I don't think, and we're probably lucky that we could because we've got so many kids. But we play two under 19 kids in the development side every week. We have to play 2 in the seniors every week, which has sort of worked out. We play nearly 5 every week. There's under 17s playing in the under 19, which is it's unfortunate for under 19s because the under 19s missing out. But we also see a lot of the older blokes that were playing reserves footy last year are missing out in games as well. And, as a result of that, we said, listen, we weren't about winning flags for the reserves or the under 19 wasn't our main focus this year. Then again, it's not so surprising, but it's probably a little surprising that they're sitting on top of the ladder just on the back of that, which is pretty handy place to be in. And I'm really just pleased.
Is that all about culture though? I mean, the fact that they've been up there for so long, they just know how to win matches.
No, not necessarily. No, because a lot of the guys that are playing, that have won those matches,
have moved on, have they?
Have moved on, yeah. So I wouldn't say it's about. I mean, culture. I don't like using the word culture, but it's. I mean, that reserve side that won 4 flags, to keep those guys here for so long is so hard when you've got other clubs just going.
Especially from Nepean or second division, you know, and Strickland's moved down to Rye.
Yeah, because you don't blame those kids, you know.
No, opportunity to play regular senior football.
Yeah. So to keep those guys for so long, I think, you know, it's a sign of a pretty good and successful club.
Well, they're playing with their mates,
yeah.
You know, and they've started playing here as under 10s, 11s, 12s, and they've all gone through together. So not too many of the kids sort of disappear from the club.
Work is work, Troy. Obviously, you're going to Western Australia. Obviously, it'll be hard to leave here. It'd be nice to leave with the premiership, wouldn't it, after you won one at your old club, Edith Vale Aspendale?
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously, it'd be, again,
terrific for
you. The most important thing for me is to leave here, to leave the club in a really good place. And regardless of the results or premierships, I came here 3 years ago with Mick, and we both wanted to leave it in a better place than when we got here, and I think whatever happens from now to then, I think we can probably say that we've done that in the 3 years. And yeah, we were pretty close the first year, and then we probably got a few things wrong last year, but we think we've made some significant changes to our list.
Our kids are wonderful to coach.
I think this year you are probably further away from a flag than your next 4. I reckon you have got the best young kids coming through to get Moncrief back, to have Freeman running through there, to have McCarthy hanging around the place, who they're only just kids, they're only starting. It's going to be a huge 4 years, so the decision by the club to get that next coach right to take that through is going to be huge. And I reckon you're playing over and above expectation this year. I reckon if you can snatch one this year, it'd be huge, and watch out the next 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, it's. I think
you're making cry in a minute.
No, there's still 5. You know, there's obviously still 5 sides in it, and I think 5 sides can actually still win the premiership.
Yeah, 100%.
Like I said it to you earlier, I don't.
There's not one clear-cut favourite this year.
No, not at all. And
it's great, isn't it?
I don't even think finishing on top or having the double chance. I think anyone can win it from wherever they finish. I think that's how momentum's a funny thing, and you get it and hit form at the right time.
You've been lucky too, like just to go away from the Mt Eliza side at the moment. And I said this to Blackers and Dan a couple of times this year. That premiership that you coach at Edith Vale, apart from stuff that I've done at Mornington's, the most amazing thing I've ever seen in local footy. Can you explain that run that you had in that year?
Yeah, it was funny enough. It wasn't unsimilar to what we're going through at the minute. We actually in 2012 we finished last.
Yeah.
And we actually lost. I think we were 2.5 games out of the 5, and we finished last. We lost, I think, 5 games by kick. And then
so you weren't far away.
We weren't far away, but we were clearly far away. And then the following year we scraped in and finished 5th. And we won those 5 games by kick.
Yeah, right.
And then all of a sudden, a bit of belief, and I remember we had to get YC in a prelim that went to it was a draw at the end of the game, and
extra time,
and then to be 5-6 goals down with 15 minutes to play and get up and win. It was a bit. But again, it literally was. It was a bunch of. It was pretty well balanced. We had a couple of older guys, and not similar to what we've done this year. We just got some guys left, and no disrespect to those guys, they just didn't want to be here anymore and weren't fully committed to the club. We were lucky we recruited some guys that were just really good people. The same thing's happened again this year, and all of a sudden...
Those Fish Creek boys have fitted in well, haven't they?
They have, mate, and as I said, like we...
And you would have known Barry?
Yeah, so I played with
Baz,
with Baz and
interleague and all that sort of stuff,
so Ryan's come across, and again, you hope when you recruit footballers that they turn into good players, but these guys have...
well, they're good country boys, mate.
They are, and they get local footy. Guess what? You come in, you buy a beer, you thank the volunteers, you say good day to everyone,
clean the rooms up,
all that, that sort of. Which is, I think, we forget. We're trying to get guys to clean rooms. We'd asked a few blokes last year to clean rooms. They look at you, got 3 heads on, but these guys just do it, and they understand that it's their club and really respectful of the people around it. And I think results are. just happen on the back of those sorts of things.
What sort of coach do you need, Mick, to replace this man, which he's obviously going to be a hard man to replace, isn't he?
He's going to be a very hard man to replace. What sort of coach do we need? Look, that's the million-dollar question. The coach that we need a clone of Troy Shannon. Where we find...
Is Shane Tennant that clone?
Oh, most certainly he could be. We're going through a complete process in terms of finding Troy's replacement. It's certainly going to be a hard job. We're not in any rush to do that, but one of the things that we're really proud of in this club at the moment is over the 3 years, and it's not only Troy, but Nadji sitting over there and Paul Goon, our under-19s coach, they've all bought into our philosophy around junior development, and it's a really tight-knit group of people and that are working really hard to do a lot of the stuff that you're seeing as the byproduct of what's happening on the ground. So it's important for that next person to come in and be part of that group and to buy into where we're going.
All strong clubs have an abundance of youth, don't they? And it's how you tap into it. And if those,
So you have a good relationship with the junior club, Nick?
Oh, sensational relationship, yeah.
You need to, don't you?
Yeah,
Because you've got over 30
and
clubs.
look, Brett McPherson, who I mentioned before, we've been working on putting the new club rooms together.
So for these new club rooms, would this be knocked down and the main rooms be here?
No, we're proposing that these rooms stay here.
Short term, yeah.
Short term. We're going to build out through the car park, so it'll go down towards the junior ground.
So it overlooks 3 or 4 grounds.
It'll overlook the 2 grounds,
That's exactly what you need.
Sorry? Bay views.
We can't get over the hill though. We must be a big bay.
We're going to go up 10 stories.
Are you going to hang on to the Chardonnay set tent that I saw there for the Sorrento Mt Eliza match a little bit earlier in the season, or the social club tent? I like that. That was very quirky.
Oh, okay.
Just to the left there.
Yeah, we always put up a bit of a Chardonnay tent here. We're the Chardonnay drinkers at Mt Eliza.
Yeah, I have heard that. Now, Mick, your view on netball and women's football. When we last spoke to you here a few weeks ago with your good mate from Sorrento, the very quiet and retiring
my learned
Bernie
friend,
Barmer,
your learned
friend from, of course, the law.
Yep.
You said that netball is not officially part of your football club. Is that going to change, or has it changed since I last spoke to you back in June?
No, look, I probably I'll correct you on that, Dan.
Another question?
No, I want to answer that one, Troy. I didn't say that netball wasn't part of our club. I said that we're finding it hard to get the netball players, the girls, to buy into our club. They haven't been part of our club over the last 5 or 6 years.
How do you get them to buy into it?
We've got courts here now.
We've got courts. We've taken on we've introduced a netball director to our committee. Pippa Hansen is doing a great job getting the girls across. We're doing a lot of work there. Look, it's certainly a work in progress, and I think this year we've made some inroads in terms of
having the courts not here down has been pretty hard.
Yeah.
They're not here at the same time as us. It's hard to get them here. And a lot of funny enough, a lot of the Mt Eliza netballers don't actually live in Mt Eliza. They travel a fair way, so that's
makes it tough, doesn't it?
Yeah, work in progress, and you know what? It's a lot better than what it certainly was a couple of years ago.
And with them training up here, they can come in for a meal on a Thursday night now.
Which they do now. So
yeah, we've started to get girls across here now. Yeah, it's good.
Now, Troy, obviously you're going to WA for work. What would you be doing in work over there?
I've basically just been transferred with my current employment. Where I work for a
pimp.
I work for a mob called Askin. We manufacture insulated panel and just basically a construction arm and a manufacturing arm. So an opportunity for me that has popped up a couple of times. So I kept knocking it back, and I said to Holtz earlier on, that if I keep knocking back these opportunities, they're going to stop asking. So it's one of those. I've got a girl starting VCE next year, and I've got a little one starting in primary school. So I sort of
which is a hard one for your eldest daughter, isn't it?
It is.
For her to leave.
Obviously, plays footy here as well and loves it, and going to miss her friends. But yeah, for me, it was just I had to pull the trigger now. It was either now or for never for me. So.
And you've been working. Sorry, Dan. You've been working up in Sydney throughout the year. So Tuesday night sometimes is hard to get to.
Yeah, it has, and it credit to my coaching staff, who I'm blessed with. Even Goons, our under-19s, and Nathan Clayton, the development, and Neil Craig, my senior assistant party, who have been...
Neil Craig from Melbourne, is it? Or?
No, it's not.
Oh, another one?
Be a good man to have.
But, that's, it's funny enough, I think it's probably been, in hindsight, one of the sort of may have been the difference this year. I haven't been as intense. I've been away.
And it freshens the boys up on a Tuesday night.
Different voice, and I sort of come back and scram at them Thursday and game day. So, and it's also made the club a little bit, the development side and both the under-19s have all trained together. We've got 8 VFL guys on lists that don't train with us on a Tuesday night. Plus, you get your couple of older guys that don't train on the Tuesday. So Tuesdays can be
a little bit less on the track.
Pretty less on the track. So we bring them all together and all
gives the under-19s exposure too.
It does, and to be fair, the under-19s are. It's not like anyone will miss out a place out there against the seniors. They're pretty slick unit.
And it's a massive juggling act, isn't it, when you lose your players to VFL teams, but it's also great for the footy club too in a lot of ways. I mean, how have you managed to cope with that this year?
Well, it was something we put in place at the start of the year. We didn't know. We obviously look at the successful sides like YC seem to have done it.
Yeah.
And we weren't sure how we were going to manage it. It was sort of a bit of a suck and see. But it's again, we've got some. They're all pretty good kids. They train here when they can. Unfortunately, for the competition with that development, I think that's just the way it's going. So all but one of the VFL guys, which is Ryan McGannon, they're all Mt Eliza kids. So we basically, at the start of the year, we said let's get every Mt Eliza kid that's on a VFL list and list them with us, which we have. And it's been a huge success for us. I think they're all going to be qualified for finals.
Are they really?
Yeah.
McCarthy?
McCarthy's qualified.
Yeah,
that's excellent.
And that's what YC's been able to do over the last 10 years. And I think that you're a better organised club with the amount of kids coming through than what YC is.
The kids coming through, I'm not sure. I think we probably played about 48 kids or, different people this year, and some of them have been 16-year-olds. And again, I think that whole me being away on a Tuesday night and Nathan's game style and Paul's game style is basically just the same as what we're doing. And so what happens is the kids come up and they sort of get it straight away. And I know, to be true, I've probably learnt more as a coach this year than I have in 10 years.
Yeah.
And I always thought that reserves, you couldn't teach them what you guys are doing. Maybe 3 or 4 your kid in the under-19s are a different beast in themselves. But for this year, I've probably learned a little bit off all my coaches this year than I have.
One more quick one. I know you're going to WA for work. Any clubs showing interest in you yet over there?
No, I won't have any time for footy, I can assure you of that.
At all?
No, I won't. I'm looking forward to. Basically, the challenge of work's going to be pretty big for me, so I'll have to fit a bit of time in there and probably time I spent
with family. Yeah.
And Mick, in a couple of words, how would you describe your style as president? Laid back?
Very laid back, Dan. You're very laid back. Very laid back.
Very good. Thank you, gentlemen. Great to have you here, Troy. Good luck for the rest of the year. Good luck in your venture west with your job, and a lot obviously still riding on what lies ahead for the Mt Eliza Football Club. A lot of football to be played. Mick, thanks for having us here tonight. You're doing a wonderful job with this football club. It's always great to chat footy with you and have a robust debate. We need people like you in this great competition, and good luck for the rest of the year. And again, thanks for having us down here for the Division 1 Footy Show. Would you again thank Mick and Troy for being part of our footy show? We'll be back with more shortly. St Andrew's Brewery, using the finest ingredients, ensuring each beer is full of flavour and character. Pencon Garden Supplies and Mini Mix Concrete is a family-owned business that has served the Mornington Peninsula magnificently for more than 50 years. For all your garden and building supplies, concrete, soil, sand and mulch, visit Bart and the team at 58 Peninsula Avenue Rye or call 5985 2252 or 5985 2998. This is the GameFace Footy Show live from the Mt Eliza Football Club. Great to be here, and thanks again to the Mt Eliza Redlegs for having us here for Division 1, heading into the last round of the home and away season. Let's hear now from one of the showmen, who he thinks he is anyway, of the competition in Lee Paholke. He kicked 6 last week, and it's been a difficult week for him as he is trying to appeal a 2-week suspension. The club will certainly need him as they go for a finals campaign and looking to try and win another premiership. And Glenn Carter was able to catch up with Lee Paholke and talk a whole lot of things regarding the top of the ladder Sharks.
All right, so I'm joined by star forward Lee Paholke from the Sereno Footy Club. Lee, you've just come out of the tribunal and you've got an update for us. Can you take us through what went on tonight?
Yeah, that got cleared, which was nice. Had a bit of a run-in with Jason from Frankston, and I think it was all taken out of proportion. That's actually what happened. And yeah, it was able to come out in my favour tonight, which is good.
Well, that's great news. That's a relief. Was there just? Can I ask who what the report was about and who was the report against?
Yeah, I was reported charging, so I'm not too familiar with the charging rules, but I think when you're running somebody and make unnecessary contact, it's constituted as charging, which didn't happen. So Jason and I had a little bit of a run-in prior, and I just come back to give him a mouthful, which is generally what I do, and we made a bit of contact, and it was it might have looked a little bit worse than it was from some people's point of view, but no one was hurt. Jason's fine, so we carry on playing football. So contact wasn't as severe as first thought.
Well, congratulations on being cleared. Just while we've got you, wouldn't mind catching up on any other Sereno news that might be available to us. Dorsey going to be lining up against CDS on the weekend?
He's a chance. He got through training last Thursday, so he might have been a show from Frankston, but probably that Frankston game still come down to this week for us to finish top. We still have to win this week to finish on top. So, barring training tomorrow night, hopefully Dorsey gets through like he did last Thursday, and fingers crossed he'll be there with us on Saturday to hopefully get us that week off the following week.
And we've had some reports come through that Troy Schwarz is a bit sore, and if he doesn't front up this week, then he's a chance of not qualifying for the finals. What can you tell us about that?
He is sore. He's pretty old now, Troy. You'll look into that. So I think he's 37 or 38, but he's got some knee problems, so he'll have to get through training tomorrow night if he wants to play. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes. Fingers crossed. It'd be awesome to have Jim finals, but his knees are no good. He's not going to be playing that good a footy, so we'll have to depend on that.
And what's got lost in all of this is that you had a cracking game last week, kicking 6 goals and finishing equal third in the goal kicking, so congratulations.
Thanks, mate. I think there's still a round to go, so I might maybe be able to sneak second spot.
Well, good luck to you, and I've got a sneaky feeling that you might have snuck into the GameFace team of the week, so you'll have to tune into the footy show tomorrow night to see if that's the case.
Oh, geez, I wonder what twisted Hulk's arm. I haven't been able to squeeze in there. He hasn't been a big fan of mine this year, so thanks for that, Hulks, for managing just to squeeze me in at 4 o'clock on the bench.
Oh, you've always been a good friend of GameFace, so thanks for your time tonight, Pulks, and good luck on the weekend.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it. Speak to you soon.
Thanks, Glenn. Plenty covered there, and what again has been a big week for the Sorrento Sharks, who are in pretty good form heading into another finals campaign. Okay, let's look at YCW news now, and they had a win on the weekend. I wouldn't have thought it was the greatest win in the world. They beat Rosebud. Rosebud were pretty competitive, although they didn't score a goal after quarter time. Again, YCW struggled to kick goals, guys, and that's been an area that has annoyed Wayne Cap all year, hasn't it?
And even in their premiership years, Dan, their defence and their midfield's been rock solid, and they've been able to keep sides to minimal scores. They've always struggled to kick big bags of goals.
They didn't struggle with that. They beat us by 100 points in the grand final. That was all right.
Now, nephew of club legend Mark Berringer, Josh, made his debut. He kicked a goal in his first game. Now, bad news for Scott McLeod. After 10 weeks off injured, he's accepted 2 weeks for striking and will miss the first final. Why?
Because I love Scotty McLeod, but he's been doing it for years. He's a little sniper, gets in there and gives it a run. He was going to get caught. So if you get it after 10 weeks,
I understand
you get in there and you run the knuckle.
It's silly, isn't it?
You're going to miss a final. You're going to miss.
And undisciplined.
But it's bad news for the club. I understand.
It's bad news for the club.
He shouldn't have done what he did.
Yeah,
and he deserved to get the suspension.
Yeah, if you do the crime, you've got to do the time, Dan.
It's not bad luck. It's bad news.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, you can't say it's bad luck if he's been doing it for years. You can say it's bad news for the club, though, can't you?
Can I just say I do?
You can say whatever you want to say.
As a player and a bloke, but Come on, Scotty. Seriously. Stop it.
I'm sure the club's furious about that.
Yeah, well, they will be. Anyway.
Now, GameFace favourite, and he called a game of footy with me that day that Bomb Beach came over the top of Frankston YCW, and poor old Kev was as flat as a night carter's hat. He couldn't say anything at the end of the game. And I won't tell you exactly what the night carter used to do in years gone by, but he used to pick up rubbish or things to that effect. Now, Kev Lilac, he had a surprise wedding at the footy club. And teammate Scott McLeod,
I think everyone
before he got suspended, and Riley Hodgson were in the wedding party.
Kyle
so congratulations to Kev.
Hutcho.
Yeah, Kyle was there too. You can see Kyle on the right hand side there. There he is.
And I think it was meant to be an engagement party.
Was it? Yeah. It ended up being a wedding.
Yeah, that's what it was meant to be.
Now, is he wearing just? On that, are they wearing boat shoes and pink socks? He looks like he's a different cat. Oh, good on them for deciding to go down that path. Heads on them like mice, those boys on the right-hand side. But good luck to them, and congratulations to Kev and his wife for their surprise wedding. Now we'll take a break, and we'll be back with the skipper Shane Tennant of Mt Eliza, and another one of their star players as they gear up for the finals. The Redlegs. Carl Doherty on the GameFace Footy Show, First Division, live from the Mt Eliza Football Club. You First Real Estate. Call 59259278 or visit youfirstrealestate.com.au. The Best Players Award thanks to GameFace in the seniors for First Division. 1 round remaining. Sean Downey of Rosebud's been in front all year. Another 4 votes to move to 66. Joel Miller of Mornington has been Mr. Consistent for the Bulldogs all year, another 6 votes. He's on 59. 5 votes for the big bull in the middle of the ground for Sorrento, Mitch Hallahan, and he's on 53. Nick Marston, his teammate from Sorrento, remains on 46. No votes on the weekend, and 6 votes despite their team's big loss for Jason Kingsbury of the Bombers to go to 45. In the reserves, Jacob Beggs of Pines, 6 votes to move to 56, 10 ahead of the rest of the competition. Ben Sharman of the Bombers, 2 to go to 46. Trevor Madison of Sorrento, none to remain on 39. Isaac Drinkwater Coates of Rosebud, none to stay on 38. And Jared Douglas of Bond Beach, none. He remains on 36. In the under-19s, it's pretty tight at the top. 1 round remaining. Ryan Rose of Mornington, 4 votes to go to 47. Nick Sakalis of Rosebud, 5 to move to 42. Carl Duff of Seaford, 2 to go to 42. Joseph Ryan of the Bombers, 6 to move to 40. Tom Reeves of Bond Beach, 6, and he's on to 37. And Ben Ward of Edithvale Aspendale remains on 37. No votes on the weekend. Live at the Mt Eliza Football Club for the GameFace Division 1 Footy Show. And can I just say, before we welcome our guests here, I love this table. This is the greatest table I've ever seen in my life. I'm sure a lot of beers have been drunk here, a lot of food's been eaten off this magnificent table. You'd have a great time sitting here on this beautiful table here at the Mt Eliza Football Club. There are strange things in life that fascinate me, and this is one of them tonight. I am a strange cat, but I just thought I had to mention it, how good it is, and what obviously an important part of the Mt Eliza club rooms this particular table is. As are these 2 gentlemen, Shane Tennant, the captain of the Mt Eliza Football Club, and also Kyle Doherty, one of their key players who, actually, Kyle, you work at the Melbourne Football Club, don't you?
Yes, that's correct. Yep, I'm the academy manager down at the D's. I've been there for a couple of years now, so based out at Casey Fields a couple of days a week, so not too hard to get to training.
What's that role involved?
So we have academies that go all the way down to kids 12 years of age, and then sort of kids that we're thinking about drafting right up until 18 years of age. There's a real focus on multicultural and Indigenous pathways and keeping those kids in the talent pathway. So, yeah, it's a challenging role, but and it's a really new space for us as a footy club, but something we're looking forward to.
And being out at Casey Fields there's a lot of multicultural kids, isn't there, in that region, Dan?
Yeah.
Is 12 years too young at times?
Definitely,
I mean, we see a lot of players not quite ready at 18, but by 22, 23, they're ready to go to play league footy. So is it often a risk to look at these guys or young kids at the age of 12 and think, you've got a career pathway in AFL footy?
It is, and it's all about just creating that fun environment for those ages, and it really goes back to the fundamentals and going back to kids when they're 12 and 13, it's creating a fun environment. It's way too early to be doing too much with them, but we still just do a little bit to keep them interested so that they don't go and play basketball or soccer or something like that. So we're just trying to keep them interested in the game without doing too much.
So, and what Dan said, Kyle, about losing the VFL reserves this year. I think that's not a great thing for developing of kids.
Yeah, I agree with that. Not to say that the guys coming back and playing here don't get that great development. No. But I agree with you on that. Yeah.
I disagree. I reckon that's a rubbish comp. That development.
Well, have a look at Nick Newman. Have a look at Nick Newman.
Well, he could have done that at Mornington, mate, and then gone up and played at the feeder.
He played down the Dolphins for 2 years in the reserves, and then he's up playing at Sydney.
He played a bit of senior footy, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah. But it took him 2 years to get a spot.
I'll talk to you about that later. I reckon it's rubbish.
Off camera.
Yeah.
What do you think, Shane? Do you think the development league's good? Or was good when it was going?
No, I prefer it this way now. Get the boys back to their local clubs and see them here.
We're all right on this side, don't worry about that.
And how do you reckon the team's travelling?
I think we're travelling quite nicely, so we're getting the right results at the right time of year, and we're looking to build now. So
it's a wonderful competition, isn't it? Like, you win and you beat YC this week, and Edithvale beat Sorrento. You finish on top. You lose this week, and the results go the other way. Then you finish fourth.
Exactly, it's been that way the whole year. So if you're not on your game, you'll get knocked off. It's really a credit to the competition and how even it is. And it's just been a great challenge week in, week out. We just keep trying to improve.
And coming down from the Northern Comp, which was a really strong competition, how do you find that compared to the MPNFL?
I think it's a very similar standard.
Yeah.
It is really, I didn't really know too much about the Peninsula League before I came down, and I was quite pleasantly surprised, but it is very similar standard, and mainly the top end talent across both competitions is quite even. So
where did you play in the Northern League?
Montmorency.
Right, they're a pretty strong club for a long time, weren't they?
Yeah, very strong club. So finals, perennial finalists.
Didn't they lose a grand final to Bundoora? It was one of the most memorable grand finals of all time out at Cromer Street, Preston. Wasn't there a big blue at the end of it?
That was quite memorable. Yeah.
Did you play in that, Shane?
I certainly did.
You like bringing up the hard stuff.
What do you remember about that?
Lots of things.
Well, tell us.
Obviously, it was a disappointing day for us. It's always blowing a gale to one end, and we had about 5 goals up at 3/4 time, and couldn't manage to hang on in the last quarter. And a bit of argy-bargy after the siren's always good, but unfortunately we didn't have the cup to take home. So.
Do you think it was good or wasn't good for the comp? Because it had a reputation. It still has a reputation, doesn't it?
I wouldn't say. I think the reputation has improved quite a lot. It really has. And I think those old days are gone for all competitions, really. So.
Now, just looking at how the club's sort of looking for next year, Troy's coming to the end of his reign. Now, I see you as a future coach, whether it be this comp or another comp, whether it be this year or 3 or 4 years' time. Have you got any inkling to throw your hat in the ring for the Mt Eliza job for next year?
I really appreciate those words. Look, we're definitely. My suggestion is to advertise, and I think this job here, anyone would be really lucky to coach this club, and I think would really be. It would be remiss of us not to advertise and sort of see who we can get. I think it would be really far and wide. I think we'd get quite a number of candidates, and for me, I'm not too sure, so I haven't really thought about that. Obviously got some business to attend to this season, and we've really just locked in now. We've obviously got the news from Troy, and but we're just focusing on this season at the moment, and when the time comes, that's when we'll make this decision.
In saying that though, probably Dunny want to move reasonably quick because a lot of the coaches now are making their moves to get in, so obviously the club might have approached you and said piqued your interest before the end of the season because it might be too late.
There may have been some early discussions, but there's going to be nothing too in-depth at this stage of the season. So.
May have been or have been?
They may have been.
How would he go as a coach? Kyle?
Well, he's basically another coach on the field. Despite the times that he does fly at the ball, you don't hear him coming. That's the only time you don't really hear him speaking out there. But he is like another coach out there on the footy field. Without pissing in his pocket too much, I think that he'd be a great coach.
Isn't it?
Yeah, I think he'd be a great coach. Whether it's next year or the year after, I think he'd be great.
And how do you think the team's travelling? I mean, as you get ready for a finals campaign, was last week one of the best wins for the year against a pretty strong opposition?
Yeah, no, it was a good win. Very similar to I guess the Pines win a few weeks ago as well. As Shane said, I think we're playing pretty good footy at the right time of year. Just need to keep winning, basically. That's basically how we're looking at it each week as it comes. I know that's a bit of a cliche, but
and you've got a good even spread, haven't you?
Yeah, we do. We've got a lot of.
And that's what Hulk said, earlier in the piece, that you're getting goals. You're not just reliant on one or two key forwards up there, you've got multiple blokes kicking 2 or 3 each week.
I actually wouldn't mind knowing who you think you're going to have most trouble with, because I know you fixed up Hines on the outside pretty easy, and they're probably the most informed team in the comp. You've got Edafale that you've fixed up on the weekend.
You dominated Sereno out here for 3 quarters, but their top-end talent got hold of you in that last quarter. There was 4 or 5 blokes that really got hold of you, and they really dominated 15 minutes of football.
Do you reckon they're probably the best ones you've faced this year, or?
Yeah, I think Sereno would probably be the team. But I guess any team in the top 5, as we said before, could potentially win it on their day, and it's really a matter of who plays their best footy on that day in that final. Obviously, we're not at finals yet, but Sereno, that last quarter against us, they got a hold of us.
But you controlled it for 3 quarters, didn't you?
That was a great effort. Obviously, watching that day, but it's saying that as good as they were in those first 3 quarters, Sereno did go to another level.
Yeah, and you just didn't put them away.
Yeah.
And Shane, outside footy, what do you like to do? Obviously, you work. You have a family?
Yeah, no, I work. I work in commercial construction as a site manager, and I'm married with 2 little girls and another little baby on the way. So I'm quite busy outside of football, trying to squeeze it all in.
And you moved locally, have you?
Yeah, I did. I was living in Mount Martha, so so come down from the Greensboro northern suburbs there, and wanted to make the move, get near the water.
Sea change, yeah.
So
it's not bad, is it?
And Kyle, you spent some time in playing football up in Ballarat. How'd that go?
Yeah, played for Darley in the Ballarat Footy League last year. Yeah, it was a really good year. We obviously won the flag, so a really good experience. Played with a couple of mates that I used to work with and kind of grew up with as well. So yeah, it was a really good year of footy.
As good as this comp? Similar comp?
Different. The grounds are very different up there.
Bit heavier?
They're all, no, I think the grounds are just a lot bigger in general.
Come on, mate, it's rubbish.
Are they?
Come on.
The Ballarat Footy League.
Oh, come on.
It's a good comp.
Oh, come on, Dan.
You don't think it is?
It's not as good as down here.
Where does it rate with the MPNFL?
7. I don't know.
It's still a pretty good comp, isn't it? No. I mean, all these leagues are good comps. You get good in the league matches, don't you, Chris?
No, there's great players up there, mate.
There are great players up there. Well, boys, thanks very much. Good luck on the weekend and good luck in the finals. It's going to be a huge few weeks for the Mt Eliza Footy Club, and good luck if you happen to be coach next year, Shane. No doubt we'll be having a chat to you on the GameFace Footy Show. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink, and we hope we get that story whenever it is released in the next few weeks. And the GameFace Boxing Challenge is coming up as well. Who do you reckon, guys, from the Mt Eliza Footy Club would be suitable for that?
Oh, clearly not me.
Gun behind the bar there.
Yeah.
There might be a couple of presidents Mick might be a bit keen to have a crack at. I might ask him that question.
I reckon Gormers would throw.
I think
Gormers would get in there and throw.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, surely. Gorms would get in there.
What about you, Sean? Are you interested? No?
No, not at this stage. Pretty busy. So.
All right, boys. Thanks for joining us. Good luck on the weekend. We'll be back in a second with Team of the Week and tips for round 18. Low Farms, the Australian grower and supplier of rocket, lettuce, spinach and salad mixes.
Websites, videos, Google marketing, SEO. What do you need for your business? Call the team at Chill. They really know their stuff.
This is the GameFace Footy Show, Division 1 live from the Mt Eliza Football Club. Wonderful to be here, and we thank them again for having us here on the eve of the finals. There is one game left in the home and away season before we look at selections for round 18. The top 5 settled, but positions inside the top 5 still, gentlemen, well and truly up for grabs. Chris, we better have a look at your team of the week.
Yeah,
your last one, of course.
Yeah, a lot of good feedback from this.
We've had minimal Mt Eliza players in all year, Chris.
I guarantee you, and I explained that the other week about their even spread, but let's just read out and see where we're at, mate.
Okay. You've got a bomb in them, Blackers. God,
like you. Mate, I'm just telling it how it is.
Boz from Pines in the back pocket. Walker was fantastic on the weekend. Walker Miller. Meehan continues to play good footy at Edafale. Half-back lines, Marston, Sereno, Ongarello, YC, and Tennant gets in this week from Mt Eliza.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I've just done this today, mate. Come on, I didn't even know he was coming on tonight. Centre line, Downey, Hallahan and Joel Miller. Half forwards, Trent Dennis Lane. Jody Moncrief's back in the side at centre half. Tap Scott from Sorrento. Forward line, Paholke, Edwards and I thought I'd put this bloke in. He's been playing really good footy, but sometimes gets overshadowed by his brother. But Tommy Freeman from Mt Eliza in the forward pocket this week.
Well done, Tommy.
Rucks, Bo Hendry, Monaghan, Hutchison, interchange Williamson, Chevrolet from YC for the first time this week. This year. Landry, Mt Eliza, Kingsbury, Huswaite from Rosebud, and for the first time this year, Van Sittart from Seaford.
Oh, that's good.
Who did well on the weekend.
Yeah.
He did a terrific win. It was a great win. Their second win.
By Seaford last week, Dan.
And there's still some chance of avoiding relegation.
Yes,
which we'll tell you about in a second, won't we, Chris? Because they play Mornington this week, don't they?
I've got the stats, mate, right here.
Yes.
Do you want me later on?
Oh, well, I think right now, actually.
Right now?
Yeah, because we've got the tips that we've got to go through for.
If that's the case, then.
So what have you done, mate?
Well, I just worked off Mornington's average about 66 points this year. Seaford will need to kick 21 to avoid relegation.
21 goals.
Are they capable of doing that?
Would see Mornington get relegated and
that won't
Seaford stay up. Won't it?
They won't kick 21
Mornington
goals.
are pretty good defensively, aren't they?
Well, they should have won on the weekend. I can go into that if you want to, but they're just fallen over in the last quarters every single week. They should have beaten Pines on the weekend.
Is that because of a lack of experience?
Yeah, and top-end talent. The kids are having a crack, but they're just top-end talent. Didn't get them over the line.
And just before we go through the tips, though, your coaching nominations.
Coaching nominations.
Yes,
I have got
of
those.
the year, that is, the top three.
I think there's two standouts, and then I've got a third in there to go through as well. Paddy Swain at Pines. They didn't have Bongo and Edwards early on, and they've really come strong late, but it's their bottom end that's really come good. Paddy's been working on that for a couple of years, and he's been fantastic. I tipped Mt Eliza to finish out of the finals race this year, so I've got Troy in there as well, Troy Shannon. They've done
He's done a pretty good job, hasn't he?
They've done a fantastic job. So I think those two standouts, and I also put in Yater at Edithvale, so they come from a bit back, and they've still got a time to get it right. So that time will tell on Yater.
Yeah, I'm not sure about them, to be honest.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I've been off them for about 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah, but you're off Dramana, and they've lost like one game.
I was off Dramana for a couple of weeks. I said their form was patchy, and the president did actually say to me and to the coach that their form was patchy. He admitted it after the footy show we did there a couple of weeks ago, and they've come out and destroyed Red Hill. So I was right.
Rightio.
Now I admit they're going well. But okay, let's look at the tips. The final round of the season, Mornington and Seaford, big game at Mornington.
Yeah, so hopefully Mornington get up, but 11 goals down and they'll be relegated, which is amazing.
I think Mornington's form has been pretty good up for 3 quarters, Hulks. And
Seaford have been pretty competitive, though. They were good last week.
Yeah, and they were really good against Sorrento the week before.
They
were a couple of goals down at 3-quarter time, but got overran. So I think both sides have been able to play really good 3-quarter performances. I don't think 11 goals, even if Seaford won, they wouldn't win by 11. I think Mornington at home.
Funny things that happen, Tone.
I think Mornington will win.
All right,
yeah, Mornington for me. Mt Eliza, Frankston,
well,
YCW.
You picked Mornington, Hulks.
Yeah, I'll pick Mornington.
Yeah.
Right. Settle down.
Massive game. Frankston YCW playing okay. Still don't think they're anywhere near premiership contention. Mt Eliza in terrific form. Game being played here. I think they'll win.
Yeah, I would have said YC a couple of weeks ago, but
you're
Mt Eliza's
right on
form at the
YC.
moment, especially out here, is red hot. YC finished 5th regardless. Mt Eliza got the double chance to play for. So if they lose, then they can still finish 4th. They win, they can finish top. If the result goes their way, that we think it might go, and they win, they finish top.
Yeah, if they win, they'll get the double chance.
Yeah.
If results go their way, they'll finish on top. Mt Eliza's in good form, and I think their outside leg speed is really good, Dan.
Yep. Yeah. One of the best teams in the comp at the moment, Mt Eliza. I don't just say that because we're here. Pines against Bomb Beach. I think Pines will win and win easily. Although Bomb Beach seem to rise against the better sides, don't they, boys? And their form against the better sides in the second half of the season has been pretty good.
Yeah, but they shot themselves in the foot last week.
No,
They're
terrible.
on a roll, but when you leave it that late, just one little hiccup and you're stuffed.
Well, 4-15.
Yeah.
Well, I said up until last week they were a chance still, and you wrote me off. And you were spot on, Hulks.
Yeah.
8 behinds in the second half.
Bongo will be back this week. He was down with a calf this week, and they also get Potsy back after a bit of controversy.
Oh, yeah, what's happened there? Because he
played in the 2s on the weekend.
For 2 weeks in a row, was it?
No, it was one. It was one. No.
I thought he played one and he pulled up sore.
No. He didn't play the week before, but he was back in Australia, and then he played 2s on the weekend, and he got through that all right. He had about 40 touches.
Why didn't he play the week before?
He flew in on the Friday.
Or might have had
too much.
Yeah, maybe. But anyway, but Bongo will be back this week. He was down seeing Dr. Death during the week. So just on that too, if you're a coach in finals this year and you've got a player that's stiff, if you haven't
Gary
got
DeMacDonnell.
his phone number on speed dial, you are kidding yourself. He's got a lot of blokes up for finals over the years. You wouldn't know him, would you?
No,
Gary McDonnell, mate.
More about Dr. Death. Why are they calling Dr. Death?
Oh, mate, we'll send you down there. We'll send you I'll book you in.
Well, have we got a replacement for the footy show next week? Because my pain threshold is dreadful. I won't be back. No way.
You won't be back.
Frankston Bombers versus Rosebud. Now, the Bombers should win, but gee, their form's been poor. And Rosebud's last game with Coach Adrian McBean, they'd love to finish on a good note.
Oh, this is a stiff shit cup, really, mate. No one really cares. So what I can say is that after last week, Bo Mustin just laid it down for the players after the game.
Did he?
Half of them haven't signed yet for next year, and they've already asked him to. Half of them are in. And he said basically to the playing group, if you don't want to be here, boot off. We've had enough. We've got players on the back end of the year that didn't do the team thing, and those players they don't want there. So there was a bit of truth be told, and hopefully
and
they come out of it.
Was that all done after the game, was it?
Well, yeah, he had a fair crack.
There's one a former AFL player, played 95 games at two clubs.
Yeah, and he doesn't get fiery too much, Bo, but he was annoyed after last month because they were huge.
Well, their last month has been terrible.
Terrible.
It has, shocking. Now, Edithvale, Aspendale and Sorrento. The game's been played at Edithvale, Aspendale.
Yep.
I just think Sorrento will be too strong.
It's time for Edithvale.
It is.
I've been talking about them
They've
all
been
year.
disappointing.
It's time for them to stand up and have a crack, because they've had, on the weekend, they had Hullett, Ray, Turner, Flavel, all in the twos. Batten was out. They need to get their right side on the park week before finals.
What's their right side? All those guys in?
Oh, mate. No, well, they've got a decent list, but
they haven't put it together all year.
They haven't.
No,
and we've been talking about it.
And we've always said that we think that they've got a great list.
They've got a great list.
Yeah, and I do
they can go all the
too.
way. And they should go all the way, but they're not.
It'd be hard to go all the way if they're finishing fourth, though, because if Pines wins and they don't win because of their poor percentage after the opening game of the season where they had their points stripped, they've been behind all year, haven't they, trying to get their percentage up, and they haven't done it because they've had close wins.
It was 18 weeks ago, mate.
Yeah, I know, but the point I'm trying to make is they haven't been able to thrash sides. They haven't been able to get their percentage
Here we go.
up.
Here's their chance. Have a crack.
They won't beat Sorrento.
They'll beat Sorrento this week.
I think
Sorrento comfortably.
I think Edithvale will win, Dan.
No,
when they played each other down at Sorrento early in the year, there was less than a kick in it. It was a really tight game. I think.
No Dawes, no Schwartz, no Paholke, Edithvale. No Tapscott.
And it was a 2-point win. Thank you, gentlemen.
Yep.
It's been a pleasure having you here for the Division 1 football show, and we thank Mt Eliza for having us as well. Should be a great weekend of footy. The last round of the home and away season. Of course, it is round 18. You'll get the match of the day live on your GameFace app this week, which will be fantastic to complete the home and away season. And we'll be back to preview the finals in Division 1 next week. Have a great week in footy.